Hello, welcome back to Student Leadership News. I am Emmanuel Hernandez, and to start us off, we have Melissa.
Thank you, Manuel. Talent show release date is coming up. This week, we released the lineup for this year's YOKA Talent Show. Thank you so much for everyone who participated. The show turned out to be an hour long, and every second is worth watching. It turns out that this year's yearbook is already on its way. They will be here soon, so make sure to make your way to the student store to buy your copy of this year's yearbook, just for $25. Speaking about memories, this year YOKA will be hosting a Zoom end of 2020 through 2021 school year open house showcase night on May 27th from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Our YOKA community will be able to watch a series of videos created by our teachers showcasing some of the work that has been done during this year. We have no staff birthdays. Happy birthday to all the following dragons. Happy birthday to all of you. On behalf of student leadership, we hope you enjoyed your special day. Back to you, Emmanuel.
Thank you, Melissa, and I hope all of you are hyped to see this lineup and excited for the talent show. Up next, we have Haiti, who's going to tell us about club meeting updated times and an interesting read from Bookworm Buddies Club.
Thank you, Manuel. Since we are now on a new schedule and class ends a little later, all clubs now begin meeting at 3:30. If you would like to join any of the clubs, simply join the Schoology group by going to groups, click on My Groups on the top right, then click Join Group and type the respective code to the club you would like to join. Here's this week's Art Hall of Fame. Last week, Bookworm Buddy read Names, Nombres by Julia Alvarez. This short read focuses on the significance of an individual's personal name. Behind a name, there is an identity shaped by culture, beliefs, and experiences. It made me really think deeper about names. I mean, who am I to assign nicknames to people whose names I butcher? Why not just ask for the proper pronunciations? Who am I to laugh at a name I've never heard of? Coming to understand how to pronounce someone's name is the doorway to coming into understanding a person's culture, beliefs, and experience. Bottom line, it shows you care. Thank you, Bookworm Buddies Club, for exposing our students to this kind of work. That's all for me. Back to you, Mano.
Thank you, Haiti, and I hope all of you have learned something interesting of what the Bookworm Buddies Clubs has to offer. And I hope all of you have been updated on the times for clubs. Today I'll be filling in for Kai and Villanueva. First off is the hybrid learning schedule. On Monday, it's Advisory D for Dragon. On Tuesdays, it's Advisory D for Dragon. On Wednesday, it's Advisory G for Good. And Thursday is for Advisory D, Dragons. And on Friday, it's Advisory G for Good. Reminder, all students to bring computer with charger, writing utensils that should not be shared, wear a mask all day, fill reusable water bottle, snacks or lunch if you do not want district lunch. Any students who wishes to switch hybrid learning, please message your counselor. Boys, you can email Ms. Delao axd5353 at lausd.net. And girls, you can email Ms. Estrada at carolineestrada at lausd.net. Up next, we have digital citizenship. Seems like it's zooming by with so much happening. Here's a reminder to advisory teachers and YOKA students that digital citizenship projects should be completed by May 19th. Students, you are using your digital skills to create a project demonstrating your understanding of using technology responsibly. This can range from avoiding scams to getting away from digital drama. and other interesting topics presented by your advisory teachers. I just want to acknowledge how YOKA counselors and aides have done an amazing job for getting students access to COVID testing on campus. It's a very organized process and is running very smoothly thanks to you. Mobile COVID testing will continue every week. Wednesdays lunchtime to 3:30 p.m., Thursdays 8 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. Next we have 8th grade culmination. I hope 8th graders are finishing strong this year because that extra special day you have been waiting for is coming up. According to our sources, it looks like 2021 8th grade culmination will be in person. Qualifying students will receive 2 guest tickets that will be sitting in sections separated from 4 feet from surrounding pairs. Culminating students will be sitting in the student section separated 3 feet from other students. Masks will be required from all guests. And that is all for me, and have a happy week, and I hope you do good in your classes. Thank you. Bye.
Hello everyone, this is Mr. Gutierrez speaking. Thank you so much for joining our Leadership Student News this week. It has been a blessing for me to be at YOKA for 4 years, and I feel like my work is coming into fruition now that I've had some students in high school message me this past couple months, and those themes and those messages have been, Mr. Gutierrez, what is college? Mr. Gutierrez, how do I get to college? It reminds me of when I was back in grade school and I didn't understand how to navigate this kind of stuff. So it's very difficult when there's no one in your family who can help you navigate through all this kind of things. So I think it's very important, even though it seems soon, talking about college and planting that seed in middle school so that you are prepared when you get into high school. I know that some of us might be first generation college student. Some of us maybe we're not interested in going to college, but I personally feel like you should be prepared and equipped and then decide if you want to go or not, than to not want to go right now, not be prepared, and then when the opportunity comes you change your mind and you want to go and you can't because you never prepared for it. So I will be going through a series of information about factors that colleges look at so that you can apply for it. Just a disclaimer, I am not a college counselor. I leave that to perhaps Ms. Estrada, Ms. De La O, but I did some research, some of my personal experiences coming into it, and I also have collaborated or talked at least with some of my colleagues. So I hope that you are able to get something out of this series. All right, first off, let's set the scene. Let's pretend you're starting your own company and you are going to recruit people, or your own institution in this case, and you're going to start hiring people. What kind of people would you like to hire? Keep in mind that the people that you're going to hire are people who are going to represent you, your brand, your company. So when it comes to colleges, I've been able to break it down into these 3 different things: academics, your involvement, and elaborative writing. And we'll go over academics today. So there's 4 parts to the academics. The first part that I want to talk about is the toughness of your classes. Like I said, you're recruiting. So if colleges are recruiting students, or you in this case, is they like to see that students are going to be challenging themselves. So if you have that opportunity to take advanced classes, depending on the school that you go to, I think right here it's honors, so you would see an H. So that's an H. There's also advanced placements, which will be represented by an AP. So AP classes, you might hear that. I went to a high school that had IB classes, so that's International Baccalaureate. And then there's also college prep classes. So sometimes colleges like to offer themselves and teach a class in a school where you can go. I've never seen this before, but YOKA actually had a couple college classes, I believe last year or 2 years ago. So anytime you get these opportunities, you can always take them. It reflects that you are willing to challenge yourself and push yourself to further limits. So challenge yourself. And I don't know if you remember last time we talked about GPA. Honors classes, they actually give you an extra point. So that's why you end up seeing students that have like a 4.1 or 4.2 or even higher, because they take these extra honor classes. The next thing that they look at could be your grade point average. So we spoke about this last time. Remember that a grade point average is basically a number that represents how you are doing overall in your classes. So if you have a 4.0, that means that you have straight A's. Your average is a 4, because A's are equal to 4. If you have a 2.5, 2.3, that means you're between C's and B's. 2.3 would be more C's. The scale that you want to be at really depends on the school that you're trying to apply to, which we'll get into later on. But I would highly recommend you shoot for higher than a 3.0. And if you're not there right now, well, good thing we have tomorrow, because you can continue to push yourself to become that version of you that you want to be. So there's two types of GPA though. There's an unweighted GPA, where it's just a 4.0, so whether or not you took honors classes, that point doesn't count, but it still helps you out. They still see that you're challenged. But then they also can take into account the weighted GPA, where now they are taking that extra point. So that's when you see those two students that have that 4.2, 4.3 GPA, and that's when it works. Next thing that colleges will look at is also your class rank. So every single class or every grade has an X number of students in that grade level. So when you graduate, you're ranked based on your GPA. So say if you have 3.5 and you're pretty up there. So you end up, if there's 258 graders and you have a 10 out of 250 on your transcript, that means that you're the 10th person, the highest grade, out of the 250 students in your grade level. At the end, you see two people, or sometimes just one person, that give a speech, and that is called your valedictorian or your salutatorian. The valedictorian student is the person who has the highest grade or the highest GPA in that grade level. The salutatorian would be the one that follows, the runner-up, which is the second highest grade the school and for that grade level. Those two are very good distinctions, because that makes you the top student academically, and that kind of gives you that little nudge or that advantage to being looked at by other colleges when you apply there. And finally, we have the last one, which is the admissions test. So the admissions test consists of two standardized tests. I say that in quotes because sometimes it's not really standardized. We all come from different districts, we come from different environments, from different experiences, where sometimes it gives one population a better advantage than it does others. You know, and unfortunately, if you're being judged on something like this, it can be unfair. So that's why nowadays colleges have become test optional or test blind, where test optional you can turn it in, but it doesn't have a big weight on your shoulder. The other one is test blind, where test blind, they don't even ask you for that. But again, like I said, it's better to be prepared and not use it than to have to use it and not be prepared at all. So the two tests are ACT and the SAT. They both have their own characteristics in taking them. One of them is out of 36 points, and now the SAT is worth out of 1,600 points when it used to be out of 2,400. That's pretty much it for today. That's just the academic portion of what colleges look at. And then next time we'll be looking over involvement that they look at, as well as the elaborative writing. Hope that you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me, Mr. Gutierrez, on Schoology, or really any teacher here at YOKA, because we all have at least our bachelors that we can support you and also speak upon our own experiences, because again, everyone in this class has some type of experience that inputs to your education. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope that you have a great week. We'll see you next time.